Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
We're back, baby.
Welcome back. Ooh. Your dreams were your ticket out. Also your brother's fortune. Boo doo boo boo boo. Welcome back.
Boo boo.
How was the trip?
Well, let me tell you something, my friend. And when I say my friend, as always, it means I'm disconnected from my feelings. I went for a walk to try and loosen out I think I have sciatica, is what my brother's saying.
Yeah.
Which you probably know about.
A little bit.
I felt like I feel it in the back of my calf. It must be there. And he's telling me it's related to a disc. I said, you're crazy. So, but that's the first time I've ever learned that it is related to your lower back.
Back of your calf or back of your hamstring? Like
back my hamstring.
Yeah, that's
going down.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's sciatic, my friend.
So today I go for a walk. And, I realized of course I just wanted to loosen it up, but then I was going to be late, but I wasn't going to be late. It's not that I was going to be late or not going to be late. I was a half a block away and I started the process that all OCD people who think they're defective do. Should I text him to say it might be 5 minutes late? Should I? But no, I was I was intelligent enough to just, why don't you see when you land at home, Andy? Maybe it'll be, no, I have to let him know at 10:52 if it's going to be 11. No, don't do that. Okay, so.
That's my little mantra when I'm in traffic, when I have that kind of anxiety going, obviously not OCD level.
Right.
But my little mantra is, you're not late till you're late.
You know what? I can use that.
It's true.
I'll put that up with pretend you've been there before.
Okay.
I really think that works. You're not late till you're late. So I almost gave away what I'm going to talk about now, which is quick. I've been having an argument. Am I fucking Jerry Lewis? Why am I have a lozenge in my mouth?
Because it's fun to say lozenge.
So I'm having a conversation, maybe I mentioned to you, about the voices in my head. So in other words, the voices in your head are not you. They're parts of your personality talking to you.
Right.
Right? That's all I'm getting.
Right. I actually have my internal dialogue is pretty much a version of me.
Right. That's pretty good.
I'm just giving you that as a frame of reference for.
Right. So I'm learning. Well, first of all, I'm learning that it's a weird thing because if you have OCD, part of what you're learning is you're not necessarily in control of these thoughts. It's not important what these thoughts are.
Right.
And you're placing importance on them is almost capturing them on their own. So
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I mean, I imagine you. This is how from all this time talking to you, I imagine that there is it's more about where the slider is on the mixer for you than it is because the track is always there.
Right. That's exactly right. That's that low-level anxiety, but it's getting better and better. But yeah, the track is already there. The fader's ready to go up. So, but I've been negotiating with that voice. I talk to that voice a lot.
Good.
I say, I think I really am starting to believe in God. Oh, really, stupid? Really? What are you upset about? What are you upset? You're saying it, it's that kind of thing. But it's not that. So I come in, it's like 10:58, and I go, maybe, and I don't want to be, got to be started at 11, or else I'm going to be killed by my mother, right?
Sure.
So I go, maybe I don't have to pee, and I can go straight to the podcast. Then, of course, I realize, of course you have to pee, stupid. That's what I said to myself as I was peeing. Yeah. Of course you have to pee, stupid. That voice is still very strong.
It's actually Maslow in your head telling you
I
what
really
your hierarchy
don't remember
is.
who he was. He was
it's
the
Maslow's hierarchy, the thing of human needs, about how certain, there's primal things that have to be satisfied before you can.
So here's the trip, and I wanted to ask you, and you can be the sounding board on this. Who am I? I don't know. It's better than I used to be.
It's a week off. You traveled. It's very discombobulating, I'm sure.
Sometimes I think it may be ostentatious to point out. Well, first of all, I'm so happy to have used that word without.
Well, let's see if he used it right. You're not done yet.
Yeah. For me to talk about the first class treatment I got from my brother, that wasn't just a first class flight, it was a greeter. And to me, I respond to that like, hey, Taboo, here I am, I'm at the airport. So I want to share that with people.
Yeah.
Is that ostentatious?
It's not because you didn't do it for yourself. It was if you're excited by it.
Oh, and if I said, I never go to the airport without Delta One.
If you were blasé about it, then you're a dick. But if it's like, look at this wonderful thing that my brother did for me, then we can all enjoy it with you.
So first class, he paid whatever you have to pay to fly at the top of the Delta frontier. Delta One, you know what I mean? First class, Susan and I swimming in our seats. It's unbelievable. Little people in first class swimming in their seats, can't reach the overhead compartment. It's built for the pleasure of giants. So we had something. Which I
appreciate. Ho ho ho.
I know. For you, you'd be like, finally. That's what you would be doing. Yes. Finally, a man can stretch out his feet. So it's a greeter service.
Uh-huh.
And so, of course, my brother contacted me because I have to tip. I wouldn't have known I have to know where to tip. So,
sure.
So you tip each. You
got to tip, dummy. You got to tip, dummy. That's my voice, my impression of the voice in your head.
So what they do, and I think it costs like $600 per person. So it cost my brother $2,400. You call the greeter. Now, you call the greeter before you get to the airport. And what's happening? Why is there?
Because this new FaceTime has all these weird fucking features, and some of them I think have gestures attached to them, and it can go fuck itself is what it can do.
So you call them, and then they go right when you're going to get Delta One. Like Delta Terminal in LAX is like 30 miles long. I mean, it's really huge, even huger in New York. It's just huge. They're like, and even huger in Atlanta where Delta's hub is. But you call.
He didn't get you a nonstop?
Oh, no. I was just pointing out other airports that have good things. Yeah.
Phew.
So I called Alfonso.
Uh-huh.
And Alfonso.
Now, Alfonso works for Delta One, this is?
He works for Delta Airlines. Okay. Absolutely. And I'm not saying Alfonso like an 80s comedian who's saying Jose. Okay? His name was Alfonso. Okay?
I understand. I didn't feel like it was a placekeeper name like Scooter or something. No.
He meets us at the gate. That's it. That's all you do, Josh. You do nothing else. You can move your hands a little bit. You do nothing else until you are on the seat in the plane.
Yeah. And to me, I don't know why that's good. I mean, I understand it's nice and all, but to me, that would be more. That's what I was scared about.
That
would be more anxiety heightening probably than me just staying kind of in my own little bubble.
Yes, but the thing is, you can't be late for the flight. You're not waiting in a line. You ever like at the airport go, why are those assholes going? Why are they letting those assholes in? That's who I was.
Yeah.
So it's also quick. It's like you go they put us in a Porsche, they drove us around the airport, and we went into the plane.
Yeah, I did that. I did that once with Segura, by the way. I did the Delta one.
Yeah. So I thought it was the greatest thing because I was so scared. I don't want to be with people. I don't want to have somebody else walking on. But I'm old. I can't carry all my stuff anymore. I mean, I carried it, checked it. I'm not saying that I'm going to insist upon it every time now. But it was just unbelievable. So I just really incredible. It just was an amazing thing. So it made you feel like you're like magical, and everything went great. With my brother was like a 70th birthday, and we didn't get into any fights, which was really good.
That's good.
You know, my brother will say stuff like that. He goes, "Look, this isn't political. Look, I'll give you an example. One thing he said, right? And I'm not taking the bait, or I'm almost taking the bait, but I'm resisting, right? But this is the thing he'll do. He'll go, this is not political. And I'm sure you agree with me. Biden is too old and should drop out right now. Right?
Yeah.
And then if I start to defend Biden, then it's yabba dabba do, right? So it's this kind of dance the whole time of him. We know we're not supposed to talk about politics, but I think he feels, what are we going to talk about? That's how he got me wound up before we made the agreement, Like once I went to New York and he was like, New York. I didn't even realize in the old days that this was what he was doing until I went to therapy and worked all this stuff out. I didn't realize it. But I would get to New York, he'd go, hey, what about that Wall Street, what was Occupy Wall Street, honey? What do you think about that? So what are you asking me? Oh, just telling you about it. And then the information, what do you think they're doing? I didn't say I agreed or disagreed with the Wall Street. I didn't say, but he knows it's going to wind me up.
Right. Sure.
Right.
And let me just say, I'm going to go 70% of the time. It's fun to wind you up.
It really is. I can see
that other 30, it's a fucking who knows.
Well, I could tell you, should I tell you the Wells Fargo thing now, or we'll finish this story first?
Well, if it's as good as the story that you typed forever on the text, I don't need to hear the Wells Fargo story. I don't think anyone needs to hear the Wells Fargo story.
Okay.
Your bank screwed up and it was annoying is kind of the story.
Except for the fact, the one part that was classic was, I think they've closed my account, and my brother's going, I just tried to wire money. Did you get the money I tried to wire you?
But that was winding you up, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And his wife goes, are you really busting his balls while he's talking to the bank? And my brother, no, I just want to know. He won't stop. I just wired something earlier today, 3 minutes ago. Okay. So that's the nature of the relationship, and was not the nature of the relationship between you and your brother, or part you recognize that part?
No, my brother and I did not. There was so much real antagonism between my brother and I when we were kids that we revel in being nice to each other now. We take great pleasure in liking each other now, and
that's so interesting, because I think the fact that my brother and I were afraid to fight with each other except in these ways, because there was no contest.
Right.
He was smarter than me. He was taller than me. He had more information. There's nothing I could do. So it wasn't like he would hold me down and punch me. He wasn't like a bully.
No, my brother was a bully growing up. So
he was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Physical bully.
So anyway, the thing about it was that we got through the week. It really was great. We went to Montauk, where and I'm not, again, this is not ostentatious. I'm not being ostentatious. He has a 40
again, Andy,
level.
We know your brother is rich. You aren't.
Right. That's right. That's right. He has I'm going to exaggerate, a 40 floor skyscraper in Montauk. He doesn't, but he has a really beautiful home with an elevator in it.
Really nice. Right
on the ocean. So everything was fantastic. He had what's that? Laura DeLonghi. He had a DeLonghi coffee machine. I brought my beans. All of a sudden, what do you want? You want your hoop, boop, boop. You want the cap. You want this. So I really appreciate all of those. I appreciate those things of privilege.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I revel in. Look at that.
Yeah.
So it was really.
Well,
it was really
I mean,
good.
when it's your brother, you can actually feel good for the person, kind of too.
Yes, yes.
There's plenty of people's houses in LA. I don't revel in that stuff for them when I go to their house.
Well, because my brother is still like, can you believe this shit? Look at this shit.
Yeah, that's great.
This? Look
Absolutely.
At that.
There's nothing greater than a non-jaded rich person.
Exactly.
Who you like.
I'm just thinking one more thing.
Because there is another flip side to that coin. There is the people who are like making a show about how grateful they are for everything, and that becomes that becomes disingenuous very quickly.
Exactly. I forgot what I was going to tag it now.
I don't care. I finally got one in.
One more great story I had about that trip. Holy moly.
So you stayed at his house on Montauk?
Yes. We went to the house on Montauk.
Is on Montauk the right way to say it?
That's how I would say. The first couple of days we were in he lives in Harrison. And don't go bothering him, thought Spirals. Leave him alone. He doesn't live in Harrison. I made that up. He lives in Rye. Okay, so he lives. I'm just making it up to throw away the autograph seekers.
And those are all places sort of up the Hudson, kind of, right?
They're just north of the city in Westchester County.
Okay.
You know, Rye, where he used to live in, is there. Harrison. But then when you start to ask me more, I'm a left, right, go down 20 feet and turn around guy. I don't know where anything is. So, so we stayed at his house in Harrison for the first night, and then we drove out to Montauk, which is not many people aren't out there now. It's like kind of deserted a little bit.
Right.
And then we drove out to Montauk, and we spent 2 days, and then we came back to his house to watch the Super Bowl, which was the greatest. I thought one of the greatest Super Bowls I've ever seen because I wanted Kansas City to win, of course.
Yeah.
And they won.
They did indeed.
In a very exciting way. And I was watching it in 4K.
Yeah, that's not that impressive.
You know why? And also the 4K went on the fritz. The 4K Bettis and the ass.
You're at a house with a fucking elevator, and you're touting 4K.
No. I was back in the slum of Harrison by then. I did not watch the Super Bowl. I mean, it does have 30 TVs. So anyway, I loved the Super Bowl. I thought that was fantastic. And now I'm back. I'm back, Josh. You know what I'm ready to do? I'm ready to face the new year with so long. How long did I go without being a jerk?
It was like 2007.
Oh, I'm sorry. But I love my brother, and it's unbelievable. And I'm just telling everybody, you have to embrace whoever is in your family left, and you can really deepen. You can deepen that relationship, and it's they don't all have to be rich brothers. But I mean, it's like the idea of not like what you did with your brother. Overcoming the thing would be a tragedy to me, and I've lost a lot of my family, but I feel so lucky that he's still there. Yeah,
no, I feel the same about mine, and I think he does me. It's just that there's only there's only a very finite set of people who've had the life experience and can speak that shorthand that that immediate family can.
So you were about to say something though. You were going to say something.
Don't hold me to anything like that. No.
Did I miss any show business while I was away? Or
I am the wrong guy to ask about that, my friend.
Our building flooded. Did you get even more? I left last Tuesday, and then our building flooded a little bit. So did it get even worse on Wednesday or something? I mean, I left on the day that it was raining.
Yeah, it kept raining for a while.
I thought it was going to end Tuesday, but it didn't.
I don't remember.
And now, Josh, guess what? I'm back. Guess what? I'm home. 8 inches of snow in New York, which I would have loved to have seen, but I didn't want that to stop me from coming back. I'm a hero. It was heroic.
Andy Kindler's Wilderness Diary.
But you know what? Traveling's not fun, though, is it?
What are you,
even when you're swimming in first class?
Circling back to hack bits now?
Oh, God, I can't do it. All right. First of all, what's up with the mixed nuts? Okay, so
did this warm hug of bouginess overcome your fear of virus for most of the traveling?
Oh no. Okay, so this is what I would definitely say. I was on edge the whole time. The family, we all got together. We had a celebration that we all suffer from anticipatory anxiety. Yeah. And that's our thing. So I can't tell you honestly, oh no, when I got there and I knew I was there, I'm not worried about it. But once I was having, when you're socializing, you don't think about it. But of course, every day I would think about it. And I kind of think I didn't get it. But then I am kind of saying to myself, this is the way the world will be for me now in terms of I'm not going to go to every family gathering. I'm not going to every family gathering. I'm not going to go into a crowded, sweaty rock club. But I'm trying. I hope I can get back as a human being.
Yeah. And do you feel at least like a little bit of sort of like pressure release from now having at least taking
absolutely.
a trip? Yeah, that's good.
Yes, absolutely.
Good.
God, I'm almost crying from it now. Fake crying from it, Josh, from the emotions.
That's how much pressure is releasing.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm
what are
doing
you up to?
right. I don't know.
How's Cody?
Cody's okay. Cody has some sort of liver inflammation, but it's not affecting his liver function or shape or size. So we're going to proceed with his dental and neutering. Get him. It's the classic veterinary. Make up your mind. I got to adjust the chair. Getting the dental and the neutering in one single anesthesia.
The thing is nice about the liver. I mean, the thing I want you to think about with the liver, is if you put Cody on a biologic like Otezla, if you want Cody's skin to clear up, please monitor. You have to. I don't know if you can. I don't know if that's the right move.
It's very pricey to monitor his liver. It turns out.
Or to get.
So we have three options with the liver. We have $5,000 plus biopsy. We have what you call benign neglect. And I said, I understand you're putting benign next to it, but once you say neglect, it makes you feel bad. So, and then there's we might do a little steroid protocol to bring the inflammation down after the operation.
The biopsy would be to see what's literally going on in there.
Yeah.
Well, I can say this: I've had elevated.
It's not like even she's going. You should do that. We actually we've dealt with very expensive, but really awesome vets. Vet bedside manner is a weird sort of alley to walk, and the things that make it good are when you don't bring guilt into the thing is number one.
Give me an example of how that would work with somebody who wasn't so good.
Well, the thing of there is only one way to do this, and if you don't, if you don't, the implication is you're a bad person.
Yes.
The other ones are just kind of, like Lucky went in. Lucky's overweight. She didn't fat shame me for Lucky. She's a little overweight. But they're also like, here are your options, and here's what they cost. They don't. The real thing is acting like price shouldn't be a consideration.
Right, which is what Jimmy Oz was doing.
Yeah, they try to. No, we're going to call him Jimmy O's. We're calling him Jimmy O's. We are not calling. I know it might be right. That is Jimmy Ah, but we're calling him Jimmy O's.
No, but I don't want to reference him. I want people to be unknown which short man shop I was at.
I think we've pretty much established Jimmy O as a character.
Yeah, because the thing is, well, you can't. Hard sales and vets don't go together, and guilt.
Well, it's not
guilting.
you don't. It's
a guilting thing.
It's not a hard sell so much as it's
nuts and bolts.
This is what it's going to cost, and you shouldn't flinch.
Right.
Or they don't tell you what it's going to cost before.
But I'll ask this: Is there any similarity to that and the regular healthcare system where their prices are inflated just because of the way the prices are?
Well, no, because the regular healthcare system, they hide the prices from you.
Exactly.
Essentially.
Exactly. Right. Well, I had the same thing with me. They were going to do that with me. I have I used to have a fatty liver. I don't know what it's like now, but they said everything's okay. You keep an eye on it, but the only thing we could do is go in there and take a boop, and that's very painful too.
Yeah, that's not good.
So, very excited about this. And also, I would like to take a look. Oh, God, I don't even have maybe it's the jet lag. I don't have the energy to do bad bits. You're in luck.
I don't know. I'm going to buy you a fucking world pass if that's the case.
Are you very phlegmatic today? That's the thing that bothers me.
I'm sorry?
You're very phlegmatic, and I don't really understand. Are you eliding something from me?
Was there like a page on the Delta Sky magazine with new words or something?
I saw two interesting movies on the plane. One was You Hurt My Feelings, which I really kind of enjoyed.
Yeah.
It's a Nicole, I'll never know how to pronounce her name, Halaspner movie. I love her movies. She makes great movies, and this is one with Julia Louise Dreyfus.
Yes.
And
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Julia, and then and she was great, and there were other people in it, and it's a very interesting movie about and she also always writes about people in the biz. So I feel like it's like inside baseball, baby. So it's about he's a writer, she's a successful novelist,
right?
And this is in the log line or whatever. She
I
overhears.
movie, yes.
Oh, you
I didn't
see
it, but I remember that.
She overhears her husband kind of slamming her new book. Like, I just don't like it, or whatever the thing is. So that starts a whole thing of trust and truth. And it's very interesting and funny the way they explore those things. And then the other movie I saw which I liked, but then Susan was like, this is not for me. It was called Following. It's a Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah.
And it is a weird movie, but I liked it, about a guy who follows people around. He's a writer, but he follows people around because he's bored.
Yeah.
And he gets into trouble in London in black and white. You know that one?
I've heard of it.
You've heard that one too?
I've heard of it. I don't know.
This isn't Doug Benson Loves. Oh, it's not Doug Benson Loves. I thought this was Doug Benson Loves Movies. No,
it'd be more unpleasant if it was.
He followed me on Instagram. I was like, what's going on? What's he want now? What does that mean? I don't have to do down the line. I can't get out of that sound.
I don't know. You guilted him into following you on Twitter, so.
Yeah. Yeah. And also I've changed my, I always, before I tweet, I go, you think Doug's going to get upset about this? So I don't know if it's a win-win. I want to tell you, I'm listening to a cool podcast.
Yeah.
It's about, maybe if I said it before, it's called Hollywood Exiles. It's Una Chaplin, the granddaughter of Charlie Chaplin, and it's all about the blacklisting.
She's the host?
Yes, she hosts it. Okay. Yes. And it's really fascinating. And, I don't want to go into a whole thing because I know maybe I'm the last person who doesn't know kind of this history. But just when you hear, like when I was raised in my family, we were Democrats and we thought Charlie Chaplin was a hero. And the country kind of portrayed Charlie Chaplin as I don't remember a time when they go, he was a dirty communist. No, it was always like, but there was always these like, he may have had some contacts with, but I don't even know what they're talking about with communists. Well, it turns out that, he wasn't a communist, but he made Modern Times, which was very kind of seen politically as a movie, and he made The Great Dictator. And both of those, J. Edgar Hoover hated them because, that made J. Edgar Hoover angry because he thought he was with
They were essentially socialist statements,
right.
Yes.
But the thing that's amazing about it is like how much I didn't know about it, how much it's clear once you start to see it, and also that the good guys and the bad guys are not that difficult to locate, even in the middle. Yet, that being said, like my father said, we could have gone communist, we could have gone fascist. He was saying it was going back and forth in the 30s.
And it really was. I mean, the fascist movement was not insubstantial in America. Right. And the socialist and communist side really grew out of the labor movement.
Yes, yes.
So there was a ton of people who did in fact have at least went to a meeting or two, or that it did very much cross their radar and their
right.
social life essentially. So it was less of a witch hunt than it in the sense of people actually did have communist ties. The witch hunt,
right.
The witch hunt part is more. So what? That doesn't make them un-American.
Well, the witch hunt part, the part that makes it evil is that J. Edgar Hoover, like, he alone may have single-handedly done more evil things than maybe any other American in the history of the world.
Almost undoubtedly, yeah.
So, you're translating through his, so all that stuff was happening, and so it becomes so clear. But you see, when I look back, I always looked back when you go, the people in this country who are communists, they probably didn't know about but it is not that simple. The Communist Party here was kind of turning on a dime too. So they were like against the war, like Russia was, until, the until Germany went against Russia.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't until post World War II when Russia became A, synonymous with communism here, and B, became our foe, our Cold War foe.
Right, but of course, like in the latter days of the war,
because before the war, it was still an alternative to fascism, communism, you know.
And also like this one guy who was Dalton Trumbo, who was one of the guys who, he was saying he was just giving his opinion. He was like, I was anti-war. He wrote Johnny Got His Gun, which I never seen, but it's supposed to be a very great anti-war movie.
Yeah.
But he was like saying, he's just saying it from the point of the time, he got blacklisted, but before that, he was just like, I didn't trust Hitler, and I didn't even trust the West any more than Hitler, and we didn't know what the East would be like because they hadn't been. I mean, not the East, what Russia would be like, because they hadn't been tested in this way.
Right.
And of course, we know it went evil pretty quick with Stalin and everything, but it's just so fascinating to me. It is just fascinating, and I wish I was more articulate.
Evil,
What's that?
Stalin wasn't the beginning of the evil.
No, I think it was started with, I think Lenin. I used to think Lenin was like
pure. He's not.
For my friends who, for some reason, you'd see books about Trotsky in their house. They were saying that Lenin, but no, it seems to be Lenin was pretty evil.
Yeah, it was a crap.
He was less evil than Stalin, or it doesn't matter. I guess.
I mean, he was less murderous than Stalin.
Right.
I don't know, motivation-wise, I don't know, but I mean, Stalin was particularly evil. I think we can all agree on that.
But some people seem to feel like if Trotsky had taken over, everything would have been wonderful. But there must be something. It's hard to put any system together.
Yeah.
And the communist one is bad. Because they're calling you, we are all the same, comrades. Workers of the world unite. But, okay, am I Yakov Smirnov?
I'm at Delta One.
Yes, and then and of course the people on the left who wouldn't even agree that there was a Stalin, that's bad. When you're in that kind of a thing where, I don't trust the news coming in that he was bad. That type of thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, I recommend it. It's called Hollywood Exiles. I think it's a fantastic podcast. She's extreme, and she's very interesting because you deal with all of Charlie Chaplin's things. Like she's trying to find out, like, he made this woman and him had an affair, and did he kind of tried to force her to have, encourage her to have an abortion. So, he was in a way kind of a womanizer, maybe. She's trying to be very open.
Yeah.
For sure?
I think probably almost undoubtedly.
Okay, well, she's trying to be like, she's trying to be like, I don't think my father, I think he was,
Right.
So without just saying, because she's trying to like analyze it objectively. Well, basically what happened was they used the Mann Act, which they later used against Johnny Be Good. That can't be his name. Chuck Berry. They used the Mann Act, to get him on trial with this woman that bought a train ticket for, and then basically after that, I'm at the part where he knows now he's got to get out of the country. I don't exactly know how he gets out.
I think it's pretty much he gets on the boat to go to England and it finds out you can't come back.
Right. Until 1970, whatever, at the Oscars, right?
Right. I don't know. He probably could have worked it to come back before that, but he didn't. I don't think he tried.
And don't you feel like the sentiment, do you remember when he gave that speech, or was that before your time?
It was before my time, but I've seen the speech.
So it was a apologetic America. You know what I mean? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So sorry we turned on you. That's what I thought. There was even the atmosphere was reported at. I mean, that's the way it felt at the Academy Awards, and that was the way I felt at home. Right. I don't know why I'm saying it that way, but you know what I mean. It's like, I think it was like seen as
I think it
national event.
Yeah, I mean, it had that baggage at least. It had that sort of long overdue kind of a feeling. And
she was having this. She was having this discussion with a guy who was saying that his movies, that they're worse. All these things in his movies, modern times. Just basically complaining about life turning into a machine. And the speech he gives at the end of The Great Dictator is one of the best speeches I've ever heard. But what Un is saying was, she knows he loved money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was not, even though he started United Artists, so that he wanted to be paid money. He wanted to be paid a lot of money, and he enjoyed it. He enjoyed that lifestyle. At no point was he, but he did, was friends with Upton Sinclair. It seemed like he was a pretty great dude, except for the womanizing, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he would say he was. I mean,
I'll stipulate that. I'll stipulate that I don't know too, Josh, because I really don't. I'm only at episode 3.
I think he was probably an arrogant prick a lot of the time too. But
yeah. But you can't. Yeah.
But who cares? That's he didn't have a responsibility to be a great man. He had a responsibility to be a funny movie comedian, and then beyond that, he chose his level of gravitas beyond that kind of.
But I don't think until I listened to this podcast, and I don't want to make myself sound obtuse, but I loved watching the movies when I was like in college. I watched all the Modern Times. I watched The Great Dictator, but I knew that he would like give it to the working, and he'd give it to the man.
Yeah.
But I didn't get that he was what the tramp meant. That he was like representative of society's downtrodden. That's why people loved him so much. I mean, I know I'm simplifying it, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. I mean, the truth is, I never found him particularly funny. Whereas I can actually laugh watching Buster Keaton. Whereas I feel like Chaplin to me is more like watching ballet than comedy.
I think it's more like Fred Astaire, even in a way, right?
Yeah.
That's what you just said.
Well,
you said ballet, and I say Fred Astaire? What
fine.
the fuck is that? Why don't you just let the person make their point? You go, I know what you're trying to say, Josh. Kind of like Fred Astaire. No, like ballet.
Well, as a guy who tends to rephrase things cleverly for people, I can't really shoot you for that.
But it's so interesting because there was a part of my life where if someone was seen as a hero or my parents loved them or whatever, my first introduction would be to want to love them.
Right.
It wasn't like as a little kid, I was like, oh, I wonder if, and then as when you're a little kid, you're seeing these things from old-timey times, you just think they're old-timey times. So it's like I loved Al. He didn't necessarily make me laugh like, well, certainly not like Laurel and Hardy. I mean, Laurel and Hardy were hilarious to me, and he wasn't hilarious to me.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a thing where you're going to say he was like Ryan Seacrest. It was just like he was.
No, I mean, I don't think any of his success was unwarranted. I think he was an artist in a genre of hacks for the most part at the time.
Right.
So he stood out even more.
But Buster Keaton had the range of emotions, that he doesn't really reach.
Yeah, and his stunts were funnier and better.
Right.
There was they were impressive. So there was an
yes. Because the Keystone Cop was Chaplin was the Keystone Cops, or I'm using the wrong word, but they were chasing him. In those things, I could fall asleep during.
Both were Hal Roach, but he didn't. I don't know if when they crossed over ever.
But you're not saying to me that this is Ritz Brothers level.
No, I mean,
right?
like I said, when I said it's like ballet, I gave it I said ballet because it implied art.
I've seen both of those movies in a theater in college.
Yeah.
Modern Times and Great Dictator. And they are amazing. I was so taken with them emotionally, not laughing, just emotionally at the end.
He's absolutely engaging. For sure. But it's
get up. Get up, Sally. Sally.
Yeah, do some of the silence.
But when he's talking, I'm talking about the one time he talks, Sally. No one likes my impressions. No one's ever said I'm a good mimic.
Have you ever seen any of his talkies?
No. Just The Great Dictator.
Yeah, which is only sort of partially a talkie.
What happened? What were those? I don't even know literally, I didn't know that he did talkies until you just brought it up because I'm on episode 3.
Yeah.
You mean as an actor or him producing and directing?
Both.
Okay.
And he's not a good dialogue writer.
And does he also have a weird voice when you finally get to hear? He has kind of a weird voice.
You just don't want to hear Charlie Chaplin talk. You just don't want to hear it.
You know how much trouble we have now trying to make money in a business? Can you imagine then, like 1918, I'm the greatest pantomimist in the world. I'm selling out stadiums. And then 1923, and you can't act. And you're out. I think I've simplified it again, but
you got
it's
the
frustrating.
Too, but.
What were the years? See, here's the thing. What did you say to me today that I'm going to take? You're not late until you're late.
Yes.
Okay. Sound came before video. Sound came before picture, right?
No. I mean, moving pictures. Photography existed before audio recording by about 50 years.
Wow. Imagine if I was smart, I could react and go, "That's exactly right." But
I don't know when Lumiere. I don't know the Lumiere versus Edison comparison between moving pictures and wire recording audio.
Well, let me put it this way.
But it was 1929 when they got put together, pretty much.
Music had the talkies before it didn't have the talkies.
What does that mean?
The gramophone. There was no silence.
There was recorded music before there was talking films.
Yeah, I think we can say that, right?
Yeah.
And if you were to say that you were the inventor, let's say another lifetime, you're the inventor now. Do you see yourself as you came up with the audio thing? Oh my God! Blah, 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 or do you see yourself coming up with the moving pictures?
I think audio is a bigger revolution for people.
And why do you feel that? That's interesting. Why?
Because before that, I mean, there's always been, for hundreds of years and thousands of years, there had been painting and drawing and ways to capture something visual pretty accurately. Not photographically, but pretty goddamn accurately. But until sound recording, there was no way to recreate sound, to actually hear something that just happened.
Wow. I think you're right. I think you're clearly, not that you're arguing in a contest, but you're clearly right about that.
I think it'd be more miraculous to people to hear sound recording for the first time than to see a photograph for the first time.
And right along with you, who the old Van Morrison, who was not the new Van Morrison, would agree with you. Because he did that whole song about the wireless. Yeah. Elvis did not come in. Nobody, it was like until those wireless knobs. He's just trying to say how the fact that you could get these programs from Germany over to London and to Ireland was the revolution.
Right.
And Elvis did not come in, nor I can't remember the song.
Well, for the English guys, it was these offshore pirate stations that were giving them all the music.
Yes. And he's talking about Bill Brunzi, and he always goes into these things that are only for him or for small, like, let the goldfish go. I
don't know what that is.
Nobody really does, but that's it is a Irish expression. So he says that stuff
it's a terrible
a lot.
Idea, by the way. They're an invasive species. You dump them into a pond, they grow huge. They grow fucking huge goldfish.
Well, this is another thing that Van Morrison goes, where is something, some name, right? Where is some? And he would get enraged because people would yell it out at the shows. Where's Thumpkin? Because they didn't know what the Thumpkin was in the song. And he was enraged then. He wanted you to listen to that. It was a word you could never heard of, but don't come back to it like, where's Flunkin?
Yeah. Don't you hate those motherfuckers who just can't, who just start having contempt for their fans?
I am fascinated. And I think maybe it's only the original rock and rollers who were so privileged to be able to, like they were so wealthy that maybe that made them even more mean. And they go, yeah, that's right. I've changed the world, you fuckers. Because he was always mean, kind of turning his back.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just maybe he really is just temperamental.
Maybe, but that's, not really something an entertainer should.
It's so terrible. Because people accuse Dylan of that, but I think Dylan could get into a thing where
absolutely. I think Dylan spent years being piggishly self-indulgent or at least unindulgent of his audience.
Do you mean way. Do you mean? But you don't mean like
belligerent, like belligerent about them liking what they like, even though you're the one who made it. It's like punishing them for liking what you did.
And again, it comes from the fact that when he first did it, they really were being mean to him when he first went electric.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe Jude. I didn't even know when I first heard the guy go, "You're Judas." I didn't even know in college what the fuck that meant. That's how Jewish I was.
Oh, you literally didn't know the reference, or you didn't know why they were calling him that?
I'm not saying I was. I'm not saying I was ignorant about Judas, but I didn't know where the fire came with that because I didn't until
where
Jesus
the betrayal
Christ
was.
Yeah, until I'm not trying to be funny. Until Jesus Christ Superstar.
No, so you literally did not know the story of Judas.
Right, until Jesus Christ Superstar and Godspell. But Jesus Christ Superstar was more thorough. Did not know it. It wasn't cotton to at the temple.
No. No, one would have to be the least bit intellectually curious to know that.
I just think a lot of things I'm embarrassed about, but thinking that when I met somebody who also went to Temple Beth Sholom, thinking it was the same temple somehow as my temple,
right.
That shows a ignorance of Hebrew that's deep.
So does Shalom, by the way.
Oh, Shalom. Oh, if you want to hear, do you like these cult things? It's on Netflix. It's called the Realians. It's a French group of people where the guy thought he was Jesus, and they were human cloning. They were
I think Alice
very interesting.
That.
It's good.
They were Raelians, weren't they?
Raelians. Yeah. That's right. And he says Elohim, and I think in the old days, people were more, like anybody can go into a cult is what the lesson is if you get to, but in the old days, it didn't take much for someone to go, I think I'm the son of God. He thinks he's the son of God. Let's do this. I mean, seemed like it was an easier sell.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, if you look at someone like Elon Musk or crypto dudes, it's like, I don't know. It's pretty fucking easy to get a following. Just
true.
In general.
People think that Elon Musk, do you think the people who love him think he's a hilarious genius? Because that's what he'd like
I
to
think so. I think, if you're a true, actual acolyte, then yeah. I mean, he's fucking,
because he's
fucking owning everybody. Yeah, he's pawning you.
Well, you know what? I think being nice should be rewarded.
I think so too. That's why show business rewards you for being nice. It really does. Like huge returns, I think.
Right. And
look at Tom Hanks, just a regular nice guy, hailed as the nicest man in the world because he's in show business by being just simply respectful of people around him, basically pleasant to everyone. The nicest man in the world.
Yeah, that's right.
Because there's that celebrity thing. I mean, what is it? How many celebrity stories have you heard? Well, he was the nicest guy.
I know.
Because he talked to me. Because he treated me like a fellow human being. He was the nicest guy. I couldn't believe it. I've done it myself.
I think that there are people. Well, I think there's a thing where. I think what you're saying is really interesting because you're saying that it's literally true about anybody.
What is?
That they were a nice guy. That they would be a nice guy. That there's like, if they were nice to you.
The expectation is they don't have to be. Because they're stars.
Right. I couldn't believe it. I'm just sitting here and he came up to me.
People will give stars a pass for not being nice. Or not being pleasant or being aloof or separate,
Well,
they get a pass for that. They aren't a dick just simply because they didn't talk to you. But someone who does is incredibly nice.
See, usually you expect
earth.
Jeremy Piven because they're very busy. That's just who they have to be.
Right.
Because they're very busy and important and popular.
Yes.
But also the other thing that you're touching on is that Tom Hanks is kind of like that for America too. I'm not being like trying to be dismissive. He's kind of like the hero of America
in some ways. But for, you know, I mean, talent is, he genuinely has talent.
A lot of talent.
And we like his movies. But he's hailed for being, and I think he would say the same thing. I think he would say that the reputation he's gained is ridiculous. I
heard my friend was at this
which speaks
restaurant.
well of him, of course, you know.
The thing I'll say about
I'm not trying to take Tom Hanks down a peg, is what I'm saying.
I know you're not.
Yeah.
But the thing I think that's about Hanks that's cool is that he is very, very extroverted, because he tells these stories all the time.
Right.
Like, we were going to shoot here and they had a wedding, so I had to drop the H-bomb.
He loves being the mayor of Hollywood. He really does.
So, yes.
Yeah.
And that is kind of his personality, too.
Yes.
So that's kind of cool. But the other thing is like that these sports guys, like he's like Pat McAfee. Like I was like thinking, I haven't even watched his show because I know I don't have to watch his show.
No,
because you've told me what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I know that's what he's doing. He's going to try and wind me up, wind that guy up, wind his ratings up. You know.
Yeah.
And it's just after a while that gets to be, you know, then it's Skip Bayless all of a sudden, who is the worst.
Yeah.
You know him, right?
I do.
Okay. I'm sorry. I think I'm coming. I don't want you to hang up on me. I don't want it to end in a way.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we don't have to.
Oh, that's nice to know.
Do you want to do questions this week? You didn't like the
I think so.
Last time. All right.
Well, you said I wasn't in the mood.
I said you didn't like the questions last time.
No. That's not. Is that what we're presenting as a? Have you told people I've had some kind of a breakdown?
No,
about questions.
Did you see that I did a best of show last week?
Yes, I did see it only because somebody direct messaged me and said about how great it was, and then wanted to know how my nephew was doing. So before I respond to her, what nephew are they talking about? My sister's adopted son.
Maybe the nephew who broke his collarbone playing rugby that I made fun of. I don't know.
So that's kind of me. So as far as people know, this is something we've been intending to do for a long time, right? The COVID years.
No, I said what happened. We had problems with the storm, and then you left town the next day. So I did this.
Well, we're back this week.
We are back, baby.
And we've got some surprises coming up, which I'm not going to reveal.
Surprises coming down the pipeline.
I'm not revealing it.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Good.
You know, I'm so fucking tired of, I can't even do it.
Hang up on me. But I have more to say. Caught you wiping your mouth.
You did. But you know what? I wipe my mouth regardless of whether there's things there. I'm just generally nervous. So I keep wiping it all the time. I can't get off from my lips my defectiveness as a human being. I can't wipe it off.
You're just trying to wipe that smirk off your face?
Exactly. Now, are you going to open with your story?
What story? Oh, the one that you rudely cut me off?
I rudely cut you off. Don't tell people that because it'll make it harder to hear you talk about it with their anger towards me.
You still have a thing on your lip, and it's kind of hard to deal with. Kind of goes in and out of your mouth.
How now?
Went back in and out again.
What could that be? I'll tell you what it is. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's
It was like food that was going in and out. It looked like.
Yeah. Hey. I had it, and ooh.
A whole grain, perhaps.
You know what it is? It's terrible. It's from snacking before the show.
Oh, there's nothing terrible about snacking. Oh, you're snacking at the show. Is that a corn chip?
Don't you remember? Yeah, it's a corn chip. Don't you remember the first couple of years I tried to justify eating all the time? So this was a major mistake.
But then it was all sugar. It was all sugar monkey stuff. It was all like high chews and shit like that.
High chews. Oh God. I just can't believe that you could live a life where you're asking people, "What do you think of the high chew?" I'm at World Market.
It was such a part. It was such a part of the early show that it was in Mondays. Time for Josh and Andy. 2 Jews, 2 mics, and some high chew candy.
Right. That's how big. God Almighty! It seemed like you were either mocking black people or I'm just kidding. That's the worst kind of accusation. Why were you going? Hey man. Hey, give me 5. 2 Jews.
It's called rhythm, my friend.
Oh, I would know
about
that.
Get some.
Hey, read an article about it. Hey, why don't you set your metronome to it? How are you? Okay, let's hear the story now. Let's do it, and I'm going to listen to it without judgment.
I don't even remember. It was the only reason it mattered because it was apropos of what we were talking about at the time, and I'm trying to remember what that was now. I know what it was. It was, we were talking about how being a nice person gets overcredited in Hollywood. Like being a decent person, a la Tom Hanks.
Yes.
Like makes you
Mother Teresa.
Sanctified, yes. But I had my own little, could you, you're doing some really loud nose breathing into that mic right now. It's like really hard to take.
Okay. I'm good now.
All right. This is my own little, got too much credit for being a regular, decent human being story. So I had ordered some, nicotine pods because mine are not, available in our area anymore for some reason. And it was like, I ordered like a month's worth. So it was like $300 or some shit. And I like ordered it like the overnight delivery because I was almost out, and so it didn't come. It got caught up in the system, and I wrote to them, and I was like, "Hey, this order that I ordered overnight, it's been like a week now and hasn't come." And they're like, "Oh, very sorry. Let me refund your rush order fee, and if it doesn't come by Friday, let me know." Great, perfect. So it didn't come by Friday. I go, it didn't come. And they're like, "Okay, we'll send you out a replacement order. Let us know if the other one shows up too." Which right away I'm like, well, that means they don't know if the other one's going to show up. I'm getting me a free order. That was my first fucking horrible thought. And then, sure enough, they both showed up in consecutive days. And
wow.
So what? I wrote her back and said, "I got the second package. Can I just pay you for it rather than sending it back? It'll be easier." And she was like, "Thank you so much for being honest."
That's true. You're a hero. You're a hero.
Well, and I wrote back, and she said, "Yeah, give me your credit. Give me the credit card you ordered it with. Blah blah blah." And I was like, "Well, I just wrote back to her saying, thank you for your good your attentive service. I'm happy not to rob you.
Is that what you wrote?
Yes. And she wrote back, you have no idea how many people lie about it. It's so nice to have honest people, honest, respectful people in this world. It was blah, 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 blah. So I was like, champion of integrity.
Well, is very highly integritous. I don't know if the word is integritous, but it's highly integrified in these days where there's no value at all in the truth, except for people who used to believe in the truth and
well,
who have a conscience.
Well, it's as much as I'm trying to crow my own moral fiber, it's also like my own wiring that it's like I know every morally sketchy thing I've done in my life, I still remember. So,
right. Yeah.
So to tag myself with a fucking box of nicotine juice for the next 30 whatever years, God willing.
It's terrible.
It's just not worth it for a few $100.
It isn't worth it. It isn't worth it. And it's a tough thing because we're not perfect as people. Oh, I don't know why I went to that one.
I think that was self-evident, really.
Yeah. And the thing about that is that I remember when I was in Rotterdam and the guy gave me $120 euros too much. So I returned the euros to him and I did feel like a hero.
Yeah.
But then it does wear off. At some point you go, you did the right thing. All right.
Doing the right thing wears off. Doing the wrong thing never does.
Doing the wrong thing never does. That's right.
One of my father's few great chestnuts was
That is a really great chestnut.
There's no right way to do the wrong thing.
Wasn't it your father who said you're never late till you're late?
No, that was me. That's one of my own.
The thing about this whole thing is...
But I'm glad it stuck.
It did stick. A lot of your sayisms, I call them Joshisms. Huh? I call them words of Josh. Hey, he's not joshing about... That's it. I'm not joshing about this. No, what's wrong with that? It's a perfect column.
No, that's a childhood scar because it's the only thing people could tag you with my name. That or Oshkosh Bajosh.
Oh, that's not nice. You should have been made fun of though, because you're Jew. You're a Jew in Minnesota. Made fun of though. What kind of a human being? What kind of a human being are you? I'm saying, have you no shame at long last, Senator? Senator? Was he a senator, or was the senator talking to the senator?
It was the lawyer saying, Senator, do you have no shame?
Yeah, but I don't think McCarthy was a senator.
Yes, he was.
He wasn't. Okay, here's where I got confused. I saw a documentary.
He was not HUAC, because that was the House Un-Americans Community.
Right. But I got confused because he was originally a congressperson, and he'd even gone to war, and he had gotten a kind of a good reputation. So I'd seen a documentary that threw me off.
Okay.
But now I'm back, baby. You can, Senator Joe McCarthy. And the thing that's amazing today is there are people who are significantly worse than him, or at least as bad, in the same exact party.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the mean is worse than him.
Yeah. And look, have you seen what Dennis Miller's doing? Some kind of...
I didn't mean that to be a
yeah, but he's doing some kind of like a Fox infomercial show.
Yeah.
It's a show about infomercials.
A show about infomercials.
That's all I hear him
go.
go.
On Fox Nation?
Fox Nation. Is that separate from Fox?
That's their app, I believe. That's their streaming service.
That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. And he's going to be looking at some of the fun. He's going to be doing. Here's what it is.
That's where Roseanne's special is.
He's going to be interviewing Pope Peel, but the guy's dead now. But that's the show. Hey, this guy came up with the. Who came up with this thing with the flexible? So you call it the flex. Who decided on calling it the Flexol family of products? I don't think that's the name of it, is it?
It doesn't matter.
but
that's his show. Is he's interviewing?
That's what I think his show is.
Kind of off the wall innovators.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to at some point. Well,
as Van Leeuwenhoek once postulated.
So, this was him during his prime. This was him. Ba-da! That's when he was at his best. He was still going, ba-da! The guy, why is it these white privileged people, he wasn't privileged, I think he grew up poor, but why are these white guys always,
What?
how come it's always the white guy? All right, look, I talked to my therapist about this. I said, I can't remember what I just said. She goes, what do I look like? Who am I, a complaint department? What, just deal with it. Write it down. You're doing a fucking, she doesn't mean this. She goes, you're doing a fucking podcast. Just write something down occasionally. I said, whoa, 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 whoa.
I'm paying you for this? You said?
Do you think there are people who still pass off lies as truth about their therapist? And then she kicked me in the balls. In other words, people just lie, not worse than Ron Schock lying. They're worse than Ron Schock lying. They're lying freely and openly to enhance all of their stories.
Well, I mean, I don't think stand-up's a fair. If you're talking about stand-ups, I don't think that's fair. Of course, you're going to.
I don't know what I'm saying, so I can't defend it. I don't know what I'm postulating. Is it postulating or am I postulating?
You're postulating, actually.
Oh, Josh, I don't want to get that kind of an image today. I haven't gotten sick from New York, but I got a cold. I got a cold. I got a garden variety cold. I mean, I didn't get COVID from New York.
That's good.
But I got a cold.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But this wasn't happening when I didn't leave my house for the entire time of the pandemic.
No, you were getting immunologically weaker and weaker the whole time. So now you've toughened. You've gotten a little grit to make some pearl with.
Why do I hear Hulk running? Do you have some Hulk running thing going?
What is Hulk
in the background?
Running? What are you talking about?
That's from Modern Romance. But I thought I heard someone like big footsteps. Are there footsteps in the house?
There are no. Well, there's tiny little footsteps, but you wouldn't be hearing them.
Okay.
You're the one with people who live in your ceiling.
Hey, I've heard that I heard Jon Stewart's back, and he's giving it to both sides. Both sides. Biden. This stuff is very cutting edge. And let me all know if you've seen it. Biden is also fucking old, Josh. I know as a liberal, you want him not to talk about that. But he's coming in with his hot take to give it to both sides. Nobody's free from his Monday night show.
I'm just trying to compare. I did a session with Jen Kirkman yesterday. And she had her big opening Jon Stewart dump too. So,
oh, that's good to know. How did it go?
It was a delight. It was.
Shut up!
Not a secret. It was
it's not even because you're such a. Here's the thing with you. It's like here's you with Jen Kirkman. Jen Kirkman will start a story in Greece. It ends up in the glove compartment in her sedan, and you're like. You're mine.
And she remembers where she's going the whole time. It's like she plotted the course from Greece to the glove compartment.
That is a difference.
And it all makes sense in a nice little package.
She's funnier than me, A. And then you're also trying to impress her. So I could just go, oh, Jen. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to even add to that. What I add to that could be nothing. It just seems like such a pleasure to be doing a podcast with a human. That's what it feels like with an actual human.
The amount you're threatened is just frosting on the cake for me.
Oh, God damn it.
And you're talking to Gary on Sunday, I understand.
Yeah, but here's the thing that we know that's not going to happen. Neither Gary nor Jen would have any interest in bogging their lives down doing the podcast.
It's a refreshing little twist.
Nobody's doing this but us. That's what I think is so great. We're the one only people. It
was Jen's idea, by the way.
It was Jen's idea. Why do I say things twice like that? Hey, that's Jen's idea. When's it gonna rock? When's it gonna drop? Do we have to do? Are we doing letters to that? No, we're not doing letters, are we?
No, we
didn't do letters.
We're doing questions. Yes. In fact, you retweeted it, so I knew that you were in.
Questions for me and Gary?
Oh no, Gary? You and Gary? No, you and Gary are not doing questions. You and Gary have enough on your plate.
Well, so you're saying your segment's going to be better because it's already built in? I think is it going to be one show, 3-hour show a 3-hour show,
I
or
don't
we
know.
can do it 1 week or the next week.
We'll see I don't know. My initial plan was an hour each, but Jen and I went plenty long, so we could make 2 shows
Shut
of it.
the fuck up. I don't care. I don't like any of this. But Jen and I, it's unbelievable. I don't normally listen to stories of God appearing in tombs, but the way she said it was different. When you were yammering on and on about the default system in the brain, she is delightful in she called me a fucking asshole in the middle of the thing. I laugh like this. Oh, you are rich today. Okay, I'm done.
Are you?
It was not bad for a while.
I don't think you're done, really.
What is that sound? That's not a little dog, you son of a bitch.
It's not coming from my house.
It is.
You're living in an apartment building and you're accusing the sounds.
Will I ever get cast as the angry old guy? Because that would be good, right? Get the fuck out of here. What's that going? What's that sound out there?
What else?
I did see a movie I liked, American Fiction. I liked it. I don't know if you're going to like it because I loved it, actually, to be honest with you. Have you heard of it?
I have heard of it.
I thought it was excellent.
On what is it streaming?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's one of the big
streaming.
things.
You didn't pay for it.
Oh, it's at my brother's house, but I can see it here too. No, I didn't pay for it. No, and it's really, really, really good. It's very interesting, and it's laugh at certain parts. It's a laugh out loud funny, Josh. Josh, here's Andy when he's mad. I'm not mad. Would you look at me? I'm not mad. Fucking bullshit. Here's Andy when he's being intimate.
I'm not mad.
You're not, at this point, I have so much street cred. I have so much industry rep backing me up. I'm known in the business as great with working with other people. Ask Joe Madison. And at this point, you cannot tear down my incredible reputation.
Why?
I don't know why would you try to? So please don't try to.
Sport.
I'm done with anything else that I have to say. Anything else I could say would be gilding the lily, is what I'm telling you. Well, how about you?
I like to Elliot Gould the lily.
That doesn't make sense. That's a nonsense joke.
It was a nonsense joke.
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
All right, from the places, the test show, and later, and boom, boom. Did you know this goddamn Vanilla Ice? I know you told me he was the greatest rapper of all time.
Yeah, and I stand behind that.
No, you don't stand with it. This guy, bum, 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 under pressure.
Yeah.
He just takes under pressure. Doesn't anyone say anything?
They did, yes, they did at the time.
And he paid no money.
I think he didn't because he did it, because Queens went boom, doom, 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 doom. Doom 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 doom, and his went doom 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 doom.
Oh, that's he made his own. And then all he does with it, does he have incredible lyrics, and does he have a higher thing? These are the days when these are the days, or is it's really a solid song? It's as solid a song as that Queen David Bowie song, which is one of my favorite songs.
It's just the beats, man. It's just the beats. It's not
so. What's the chorus? Ice, ice, baby.
Yeah, I'm glad you're getting to this finally.
What? Pickle says, if I told you Robert Redford and Nick Nolte made a movie about them hiking the Appalachian Trail, you'd say I was pulling your leg. But it's called A Walk in the Woods, and I'm afraid to watch. I don't know why you'd be afraid to watch, though.
We ain't partners and we ain't friends. We're just walking this trail at the same time.
Is that from the movie?
No, that was just my impression of Nick Nolte and what I imagined.
Okay, I'll be Robert Redford. You be Nick Nolte. I'll be Robert Redford.
All right.
I'm very handsome. How are you doing, Nick Nolte?
You are very dashing.
Dan Marsh says, "Hey
man.
guys."
I just dialed it in.
Dan Marsh says, "Hey guys." Oh, you did? Okay, I'll try again.
No, it's too late.
It's too late.
It went down the trail.
Dan Marsh says, "Hey guys, how would your friendship be different if your ages were swapped?" That's an interesting thing.
I would be more enthusiastic about it because I'd have a younger friend.
Yeah, but you'd be closer to death like I am.
Sure.
I don't think that would be good for you.
I consider myself plenty close to death. Don't you worry.
Don't say that because people are going to get very sad and they're going to write to the show and they'll go,
Don't die.
Tweet, 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 tweet. Tweet, 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 tweet. Boom, boom. Tweet, 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 tweet. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Take it away. I'm giving you your intro music. Tweet, 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 tweet.
When your mother and sister both die in such a short time, this is apropos of the fact that we did the
COVID.
Best of the COVID last
Yeah.
week. When your mother and sister both die in such a short time, do you sit Shiva concurrently, or do you have to do them back to back? Just wondering.
I would ask an Orthodox or a conservative Jew.
Well, I happen
to
be one, my friend.
Oh, okay. Well, do you know the answer to this?
Because because Shiva literally means 7 in Hebrew. I didn't know that. It is observed for the 7 days after the death. So in Andy's case, they were far enough apart so they would have to be separate. Shivas. Yeah.
And would Larry Miller have to be to both of them?
Yes.
He was a couple of Shivas with Judy Toll passed. And he was Larry Miller. There were 5 stages of Shiva. Do you get that joke?
Yes, I do.
Don't you think that my joke about Einstein, this guy doesn't know what I'm talking about. Einstein would often say to the guy in the front row during one of his lectures, this guy doesn't know what I'm talking about. How hilarious that I'm able to, what is it? What's involved there? The genius involved there?
I'm still trying to sort that out.
Oh, God. Okay, now, Torturously Okay says, I hadn't seen the bulk of his work until fairly late, but Spike Lee has recently become one of my favorite directors. What filmmaker or films are among the most recent to make it into your favorites? Well, that's not fair because I stopped basically at like Crooklyn back then. I liked all of his movies, loved every movie except, and then I just stopped watching the first 5 movies.
Yeah.
You Gotta Have It, Do the Right Thing, and then a couple of more.
Did you like?
I don't know if was School Days good?
It was okay. I mean, it was both musical and about HBCUs. So.
What's an HBCU?
Or HBCUs, rather.
Oh, okay. That was, the thing is, I think Do the Right Thing is one of the greatest movies ever made. I think he's a great director, but I don't gravitate towards his stuff. Recently, but maybe I didn't even see Malcolm X, if that's done by him.
It was done by him. Yes.
Yeah. Did you see that?
I did.
And we'll be back with White Guys takes.
I like Spike Lee a lot. I'm trying to think of who my most recent directing love is, or movies are.
Oh, I saw that movie he did with the Klansman.
Black Klansman.
Yeah, I didn't like that song. It was okay, but when into one side of my head went, woo!
But what doesn't? What doesn't pass right through these days?
You got me, baby. You got me with that one, man. I would like to know if you would like to read a question, and this would be the opportunity. I'm going to be like Fleischman from Norton Exposure from now on the podcast.
I love how you make that reference every couple of weeks, and I've never watched the show. So, Carlos says, I'm sorry my questions derailed the program last time. Please, guys, don't fight. I only blame myself. In any case, Andy, Super Bowl is tied after 4 quarters. Do you kick or receive?
Well, that's a tough one. That's a tough one because I think they should have. I think normally you want to give it to the other team and stop them, but it certainly is a tough call. And Carlos, I'm sorry if you thought I was upset with you because my mother was not there for me and that caused a blow up. But no, it was his question. Was his question like, Andy, explain why basketball sucks and explain why the football good. It wasn't that.
It might have been that. Yeah, I mean, big debate about that call. I think what 49ers guy says is that you score, they match you, then you get the sudden death score after that.
That's right. I can't argue against that.
But then I saw Travis Kelce on his little podcast saying,
what did he say?
He's going, No, you defer and receive second because A, you know exactly what you need to get, and B,
yeah. Stop doing those things in the FaceTime background.
The new FaceTime thing is bullshit. It makes things go up crazy with the gestures.
So didn't mean to interrupt.
He's like, and if you both score a touchdown, you as the second team scoring touchdown are gonna go for two. The game's it's not gonna go to a third possession. You're gonna go for two, so you don't give it back to them, so they're gonna win it with a field goal. So.
Which is probably what they would do, and I don't agree with that call necessarily. Go for the tie. But here's the thing, Josh. The field goal kicks are not, the extra point kicks are not, in the old days, they were like a 5, but now it's a little something.
That was a genuinely good rule change. The longer.
Absolutely.
It was genuinely good.
It was like, I hated watching and it was even worse when someone would miss it. It was like, God damn it, you should never, but now, do you believe that they should somehow bring back the football kickoff? I don't think they want to kickoffs when people getting killed.
No, I think it's fine.
Okay.
As long as they don't take a lot of time between the kickoff into the end zone and the first play. That's where they lose me.
B.D. West is doing something where he's calling attention to his own thing.
Because we skipped a show last week. He's using last week's.
All right, guys, rapid fire. Stanhope or Jeselnik?
Jeselnik.
I like Jeselnik too, but I like Stanhope. But then Jeselnik. Barry or Bamford?
Is that Todd Barry, do we think?
Todd Barry.
Bamford.
I just wanted to, in case Todd hears this, no hesitation. Bamford. You know what I'm saying?
Bamford's one of my very favorites of all time.
I was talking about who's better than... Gene Wilder or Albert Brooks? Albert Brooks.
But love them both.
Gene Wilder's great. You can't say anything bad about him. Why would you say anything bad about him? Gervais or SpaghettiOs? SpaghettiOs. So great. Chappelle. I don't know who Haggis is. Chappelle or Haggis?
Haggis is lamb's intestines.
I would rather have Haggis.
Okay.
Jimmy, well, how about you?
Sure, Haggis. Sure. Although I liked at some point I liked Chappelle. I don't think I
did too in the old days when he wasn't a horrible man. Jimmy Dore or Vegemite?
Vegemite.
Tucker Carlson or Goat Fuck? I like that closer. BT West, you get send him the t-shirt. Wouldn't it be horrible if we had things like that?
It would be. But you can buy one. At Zazzle.com/thought_spiral.
Dr. Henry.
Go ahead.
Dr. Henry Jones says, Jr., gentlemen, Jeff Dunham and his racist puppets have a new special out on Comedy Central. Will either of you watch it? I love Andy's rage against this act. So funny. Love this podcast. Oh, it's a, I'm with Cupid. In other words, I don't know if you read this. I'm with stupid is a very popular saying.
Uh-huh.
So Jeff Dunham says, I'm with Cupid, and his dummy has a halo. So I guess it looks like the old angry man is now going to be Cupid.
Maybe he died and he's an angel now.
Oh, Jeff Dunham, that would be a good, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that at all. You know this is out there, right?
I did see an ad for it, but as I was telling Jen yesterday, I noticed on Comedy Central that it's not a channel anymore. It's like
an app.
It's just like it's 4 hours of South Park followed by 4 hours of Seinfeld followed by 4 hours of Parks and Rec or The Office.
Right. Well, they used to do that
the
during
Daily
the day.
Show's on. No, I mean all night.
All night.
Like
Are
up
they
until
out?
The Daily Show.
So how do they survive like that? I mean, they like.
I don't know.
There's no other comedy. They had Broad City was something they did a couple of years. I don't know what
but
they.
I'm talking about now.
Done.
I think the only thing they have in production is pretty much The Daily Show and South Park.
At some point, the South Park guys are going to say, "Come on, even we hate what we're doing." Oh, I thought of a good bit though. Who's the guy goes? Which one's he? Is he Cartman?
Sure.
Do him old. Like he's 95. That's going to be so hilarious. Cartman's going to be. Christopher Citro says, just finished reading Werner Herzog's new memoir. In it, he mentions his rogue film school where the only two things he teaches are the forging of documents and the cracking of Yale locks. What two things would you guys teach in your rogue stand-up school? I like this memoir. I'm fascinated by this Werner. I'm not the last person or the first person, but I'm everything he does, I can't stop watching. Because I can't tell if he's putting me on all the time. It sounds like he's putting me on.
It does have that sort of, yes. Almost hypnotic gaslighting.
I stayed with the Takaranda people for one whole year. I can't do it. Sorry.
No, it wasn't good, but I liked your whole thing I liked your angle on it.
What would you teach in your rogue stand-up school?
I don't know. I've never been a rogue stand-up is my problem. Andy's the rogue stand-up. He's Mr. Deconstruction. He's Mr.
All right. Definitely get someone to drive who's the opener and how to break into the lost the will to live. Right in the middle. Right in the middle.
Sure you're even a stand-up? Peanut says, no question, but you both make me so happy. Even when the show has an unusual flavor all its own. An unusual flavor all its own. Like the other week.
Wait, but the unusual flavor all its own was the COVID thing, right?
No, it was the you and I fighting, I think.
Oh. Did you apologize to me?
I did. I went big with it, and I kind of regretted it after I listened to the show, so...
Can you read the last question because I just went off of it?
All right. Dan Marsh says, in the past test show, Andy revealed that his nickname as a kid was Squeaky.
Yeah.
If you both got a new nickname now, at your current ages, what would you be called? I think Andy would be Grudgy. And I'd be Judgy.
Yeah, it's hard for me to know because...
No, you'd be Grudgy and I'd be Curmudgy.
But you know what? The thing that's hard to know about it is that, I lost my train of thought.
Squeaky?
Yes. When I was named Squeaky, I loved it. I loved it because first of all, I did not know that I was a cute little kid until I went to summer camp. This is more... have you seen pictures of me when I'm little? I'm fucking so cute.
You were a mascot, for
I
God's
punched
sake.
myself in the face. How cute I was. I never knew I was cute till I went to summer camp. And so when they started calling me Squeaky, I just thought it was the coolest thing. I have a fucking nickname. I'm Squeaky.
Get me,
Nothing
I'm
but
Squeaky.
positives. Nothing but positives is what I'm saying. Do you have music that shows that you're going from one area of reading to another area? Can you have anything to cover that?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Hurry the fuck up, hurry the fuck up, hurry the fuck up now.
Hey, I'm good now. All 7 comments. See, I have 7 comments.
All right, go for it. Read one of them. I'll work with you.
I'll read Delicious Mick.
Okay.
No. Do you want me to read that one?
Read whatever you want.
Shut the fuck up right now. The first half of episode 341 was pure TS fire. That second half really died in the arse. Is this during the questions?
Yeah,
but the honest dialogue that emerged saved it. I can't even read this. Can you read it for me? Read it from the beginning. I don't like it.
I had a feeling you were hitting an emotional roadblock with that.
Yeah, you read it.
All right, Delicious Mick says, the first half of episode 341 was pure TS fire. That second half really died in the arse, but honest dialogue that emerged saved it. Josh, you handled it so well. Why, thank you. Andy, I love what you do, but if you're going to try to dismantle other comedians, you need a punchline or a point. I think the wheels fell off when Andy's cognitive dissonance became apparent to himself. Andy, I love it when you're just silly and having fun joking about your impending mortality or hyper-Jewiness. Don't die bitter and resentful, pal. Josh, I've still got a part for you on Jewish Deli, spelled like the Indian place, but you have to do turmeric face. Peace and love, gents.
I would like to say that I'm glad that you read this question because I don't like this question. I don't like the Delicious Mick. And I think the worst thing in the world is to look at something that failed and then see why it failed. Oh, of course it failed, Andy, because you went on your own anger. So I should write down my anger and rants, make sure they're the best coming in. This is maybe the worst letter I've ever. This is the worst thing you could say to a comedian. I'm being honest about it. It's the worst thing because it's condescending. It's not as bad as the guy who sent me the letter over my Cameo. That was the worst. But this is the second worst letter I could possibly imagine receiving. Do you think I don't know when I've had cognitive dissonance? So the lesson there is don't ever again just, really make sure everything I'm going to say is funny for the rest of my life? That is ridiculous. You can't do that.
It would be awesome, though.
It would be nice, but you can't do it. That's not a podcast. I mean, why would somebody, this guy, I'm glad he likes you, but I don't like him. I don't like his feedback. And as far as I'm concerned, I hope he never listens to the show again. Thank you. And thank you. But you can give your, I said, you can give your take and I won't say anything.
No, I wouldn't dare.
Okay.
I have no desire to, first of all, but secondly.
Worst.
I just want you to.
I love what you do.
I just want to like take a moment and make sure that this anger doesn't come to me.
Okay, but wait a second now.
None of this was prompted by me. Let's just remember as we go forward.
No. But you see, the thing is, but then the idea that, okay, the perception that might be out there that there's something wrong with me or I'm too angry, I reject all that bullshit. You fucking do a podcast and try and not show your personality. I mean, it's ridiculous that people are, I just don't understand where something like this would come. Don't die bitter and resentful, pal. Okay, why don't you die bitter and resentful, delicious Mick?
Wow, that's a little much. that was a little much.
I don't give a fuck. No, I really am angry. I'm really angry.
No, I think that,
but now
that's
I can
clear.
Turn it off.
Okay, that's all I
turn
want.
It off.
That's all I want.
All right.
I'm not trying to scold you.
Miss Alabama Boogie says, Andy, how was Montauk? Josh, I watched Office Hours live with guest Dr. Demento this week. What a sweet old weirdo. Also, looks like I'm getting the surgery. Wish right back luck. I do. Now, this is not because you gave your medical decision, right? You didn't tell her this is what you should do.
No, not at all.
Oh, you could. That was good.
About that. But I hope it goes very well. I hope. I've talked to a bunch of people about back surgery lately, and I think again, don't take me as one of just because I had a few of them doesn't mean I think they're bad. There were specific things to mine,
right,
that made it multiples.
Beautiful,
and Dr. Demento, I love him both on my own and because he was my dad's high school classmate.
I forgot that part of it, but he didn't talk like that back then, right?
I bet he did a little.
Was he a funny guy back then, or your dad doesn't remember much? Or
he remembered him, but I mean, he was like known for his record collection. Not surprisingly,
that's pretty funny. That's good. Good stuff.
Let me go back and get one of them. Esai 76 says, "I've got 2 or 3 Motown puns left in me. 4 tops." It's a great joke.
See, this is where here's the thing. I think that has nothing. You have nothing to do with this. I think I'm stupid. Sometimes when I hear something that tests me. So I don't know what the fuck, I don't know what that means. Let me see if I can do it without pressure.
Okay.
I've got 2 or 3 Motown puns left in me, 4 tops. I get it. Very funny.
Good.
Excellent. In other words, I just got it again. 4 tops. 4 tops. Okay, good.
All right. And we talked about how Montauk was. Miss Al Boogie, by the way. Tweed Smut says, Josh and Andy, I'm back in California for 2 weeks and have been binging old episodes nonstop in the car and hotel. You two are truly the best. Why, thank you. I once had to rescue my friend in Vegas back in 2019, and we listened to you for 4 straight hours on the drive back. It's my 34th birthday next Friday, so, return the favor, you pussy lickers. Let me give it a better read. Return the favor, you pussy lickers, and wish me a happy one. I love you both dearly.
Oh,
happy birthday, Tweed Smut. Happy birthday, dear Tweed Smut. Happy birthday to you. Munson3786 says that clip show was so funny. I think Josh did take a lot of care putting it together. But I'm glad you guys are back. Thank you. Zeke Fossey says, credit to Parton. He left before Andy broke. What did Jason know?
I answered that for you. I don't know if it reached you yet.
No.
You don't get it? Go to hell, Zeke Fossey.
Ah, okay.
Okay, now, who the fuck... Wait a second. I was so upset with this that I missed what you said previously. Thurman Munson. The clip show was so funny. I think Josh did take a lot of care putting it together, but I'm glad you guys are back.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing I'm going to tell you, Josh, and this has nothing to do with you. If I get mad at you, so much the bad for me. So much the worse for me as a person. I am not... I would never give this kind of feedback to anybody who I thought was funny or anything. I just never would. If I'm a fan of them, I would just like, I like this or I didn't like. But the idea that this guy is talking like I'm some fucking crazy man, and before I broke, it makes me think that, and here's another thing I want to say, absolutely honestly, if you ever thought that I thought for 1 second that you don't edit the show to make the best show, I apologize for that, because I know you're doing it to make the best show. I know you have no other agenda when you're editing it.
Thank you.
And I would never ascribe that to you. But if this is what people think of me from those discussions, you can go fuck themselves. The people who think that can absolutely go fuck themselves. I don't want, if that's how you're listening to the show, waiting for me to fuck up or something like that, then find another podcast. I just think it's like, it's rude and everything else that goes along with it. So Zeke Fossey, kiss my ass. Okay, I'm done.
Dan Wade says, if you're looking for more commercials to get mad about, may I nominate Brand Power, the soap commercials that they pretend they're a local newscast.
What is... Oh, is it for detergent?
It must be, yeah.
They do that also for... They do that sometimes for picking what, like a Medicare program to choose. They look at like at a call center.
Right.
And they go, we're here, and the calls are coming in. It doesn't. I don't know who that convinces.
Hey, it works on PBS.
Are you missing the one? Did you read Sweet Smut?
I did. Remember,
All right.
I wished him happy birthday and all that. Remember that?
All right, Sweet Smut, because I was so upset I didn't read. I once had to rest. Oh, I did rehear this. Thank you. But I just want to tell you that I would have been able to appreciate it more had not been for the people who. It's weird. It's a weird thing because in this, like the guy who, like you could say, the guy who I had that big thing with, I'm still in the position of being amazed by what people say.
Yeah.
Because I just think it's just like, oh, you thought that would be good? Andy, my buddy, if you're going to talk negatively about comics, shouldn't you make sure it's goddamn funny? Josh, you did the best you could with a fucking insane man. He obviously has severe mental problems, but nice job. Zeke Fossey.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, you're being a bad.
Zeke Fossey. Hey, what did Jason Partovi know? He knew I didn't do his podcast. That's what I think I've concluded from it. What else do you think is out there, Zeke Fossey? And again, if I haven't said it, I said go to hell here, but kiss my ass. Are we done? Because I want to say that if we're not done, take it away.
No, I'd like to be done, I think.
Okay. You don't have to like coffee. You don't have to like, you don't have to think that we're using it for coffee, but please go to buy me a cup of coffee. Is it buy me a cup of coffee?
No, it's buymeacoffee.com/.
Please go there.
Okay.
Please go there. And also, I'm going to have a new album. This is for later on in the year. My new album that I recorded in Austin is coming out.
It's called Kiss My Ass.
Of course you have to pee, stupid.